The Red Dirt D&D podcast is brought to you by Pro Laser Cuts. The Oklahoma company provides pre-made and customizable design laser cut dice towers, tokens, and more, developed by a gamer for gamers, and now available to enhance your tabletop game. Pro Laser Cuts products can be found at many Oklahoma City area game stores, local events, and now available online at prolasercuts.com. That's laser and cuts with a Z, Pro Laser Cuts. And by SD Way Gaming, where dice goblins unite. Our friends at SD Way Gaming celebrate the beautiful dice players handpick for their games and splendor. SD Way Gaming has expanded to include many tabletop gaming varieties, accessories, and similar fun necessities to include a service for your dice addiction. You can shop for a variety of products at sdwaygaming.com or find SD Way Gaming on Facebook. Welcome to Red Dirt D&D. I'm Michael Cross, and I play Gaz, an orc barbarian, sworn protector of the Caliban frontier.
I'm Konnor Shenold. I play Konnor with a K, Kobold Sorcerer who's a continuous thorn in the Empire's side.
I'm Johnny Payne, and I play Zonimus Dinar, a paladin of dusk, using vengeance as a tool to protect the ones I love.
I'm Kiri Hester. I play Poppy Tea Leaf, the halfling desert druid determined to save the wild places from the ambitions of civilization.
I'm Brooke Bullock, and I play Mokrin Stoneshaper, a young dwarf sorcerer finding his true family as revealed by the secrets of the frontier.
And I'm Ash King, your dungeon master. Join us now for Tales from the Caliban Frontier. Gaz charges towards the Mind Eater, his attacks hitting home once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, each slash eating away at the beast's form. The Mind Eater, bloodied, broken, but not down, reaches out one last time with one last trick up its sleeve. Placing its hand upon Gaz's forehead, a spell is cast. And Gaz, once more, you fall into the grip of the Mind Eater as you have just been dominated. So, Gaz, your orders. Slay the dwarf.
Will do.
All right. So that is it for the Mind Eater's turn. Zani.
Mumbling what Poppy said back to me to snap out of it. Help, Mokrin. Help, Konnor. Konnor! I shout Connor's name as I raise my bow and shoot this evil beastie.
Okay.
25. Before I do that, I use a bonus action, this is what I'm waiting for, is to cast Branding Smite. Here comes the damage. 30 points of damage. 2d6 of that was radiant if it matters. And I will yell, Konnor!
So, as you see the Mind Eater reaching out, stroking a bit of Gaz's hair back behind his ears, he's about to send him off for chaos, has completely forgotten about Zonimus and Poppy up here in the corner, because the two of you have made yourselves a non-threat, at least for the time. Yeah. But pulling back the oath bow, lining up your sights, you do catch this creature perfectly where you would imagine if it has a heart, that heart would be, striking true. Lets out an inhuman screech as it's clutching at the wound, scrabbling at it. You see this inky, oily black substance is just oozing off of this thing. It seems like you probably only have a few moments where it's weakened, but it also still has enough of a physical form that you can actually do something with it. Because it's almost as if it is melting into this pile of rubble. And if it has the chance, this will be where it makes its escape.
If, instead of using my second attack, I can cast a utility spell,
Okay.
I will cast Haste on Konnor.
Yeah.
I yell
Sure.
one more time, Konnor, and I throw my hand out at you, and it just a shake comes off the hand and overwhelms you, and
I've got it.
All right, is that all for you?
I actually collapse, yes.
Okay. So, Gaz, you are released from this domination as you see this thing, oozing and beginning to disappear in front of your eyes. It cannot take any legendary actions, so, Makron, you are freed from any effects that any hold the creature may have had on you as well. What would you like to do?
Makron's going to delay. He's going to flavor text, take a moment to get his bearings, figure out why am I over here. He's going to delay and move down the initiative order.
Konnor.
So I am going to
scurry them little kobold legs as fast as you can.
Kobold legs as fast as I can. So my normal is 30, so up to 60. And I am going to fish out the iron flask, popping off the brass stopper that it has on top of it, and speak its command word.
So, upon speaking this draconic command word, it's almost as if there's, a suction effect. And you hear the Mind Eater screeching just in this absolutely unholy sound as the oily substance that was going down into the rubble starts to get sucked in to the iron flask. And after a few intense moments where the flask is literally shaking in your hands, finally the creature is captured.
Slam the stopper back on and raise it above my head. We did it!
And I see this and go from being on ball of foot, knee, and hand to just the rest of the way down to the ground.
And I run over to Konnor and I lift him up in the air. And I say, "Yes, young Konnor, he's done it!
You knocked him clean off your rails. That was fantastic.
Thanks. A little bit of a joint effort, but I guess y'all helped too.
I'll flop over onto my back and Poppy. Do you come over and lean down and look at me?
Yeah, of course.
I love you.
Well, that's very nice.
I know. Help me up.
And I will go towards you, seems like I'm gonna help you up, and then I'm just gonna plant one on you. Just a big old smooch. And then I'm gonna say, come with me, please, and grab your hand, and I'm going to, nope, we're going. I need you to run with me.
Okay.
I just need to get within 30 feet of everybody else. Everybody gets 20 HP. Even if you don't need it.
Even if we don't need it?
I mean, no, you don't get temporary.
Darn. I do need it,
but everybody gets tapped up for a mass cure wounds.
I would say that we have succeeded and we should go immediately.
Yeah, we need to get this back to Nightmares
now,
as fast as we
before
can.
it finds a way to break out.
We should hurry, for sure.
Yes.
How far away would you say is the ziggurat? Because we have a young man with Dimension Door.
How far is Dimension Door?
500 feet.
Yeah, about 500 feet. Can it only take one person, or can it take a bunch?
It can only take one person. I was looking to see if I could upcast it, but there's no upcasting.
Are you willing to upcast this?
I will totally upcast it.
Then I will allow you to bring more creatures.
Sweetness.
A group of you, you were in this square. Now you are back to the top of Nightmare's ziggurat. And for the first time, the storm above you breaks and gentle rain begins to fall, warm and welcoming. Again, the Dragonborn warriors just overcome with, it's finally over. You are all escorted into the guardhouse, taken down into the first level of the pyramid, taken through the rooms of Nightmare's hoards and riches, down to the well, where you dive deep, deep. This time, no fear, no anxiety, and you arrive in the bowels of Nightmare's lair, where he awaits you.
Lord, great, mighty Nightmare. And when he looks towards me, I turn and motion to Konnor, and I kneel down to Konnor, and I hold my hand up and say, my friend and our champion, Konnor with Decay, and present him.
Makron kneels as well.
We got the Mind Eater.
And Nightmare dips his great head low to you, Konnor. Holds out a great clawed hand.
I'll place it in his claws.
This has been long in coming. I ask you all to assist us in the final banishment of this thing, to return it truly to whence it came. Rest yourselves as we prepare the ritual. So, Nightmare has given you all permission as he himself sets about getting to the top of the ziggurat in his own way, where in a few hours' time, after the necessary preparations, a ritual will be held. And you are invited to assist and to see this through to the very end.
I think we should. If we're going to ask for any bit of help, then we need to help to the end. And Konnor,
Zonimus,
you did good out there.
you and I still good, Zonimus? You seemed really touchy before we took on the Mind Eater.
If I blame it on the Mind Eater, are you going to buy it?
I'm sure we could blame a lot on the Mind Eater. So yeah, I'll buy it.
Well, I feel like you're going to be a guest of honor. Let's find some feathers to stick out of your head. Get you all fancied up for this.
Yeah, we got a party to go to. What'd you want, Makrin?
You did that thing where you charged right at it, and then like, boof! Was that a thunder step?
Yeah.
That was crazy. You were so brave.
Thanks. I just had it stewing in my mind for a bit, like as the battle was going on, like what I needed to do to affect it a little bit more.
Yeah, that was great concussive effect. Like you just saw this raucous head back when you just poof right underneath it.
That's the plan.
Gaz, how did you fight off like that mental thing? I mean, he got a hold of me and I was going to do whatever he told me to.
I did not. It actually took me one final time, and it could have been really bad, but I decided that I should just stick it out, and you were going to be attacked next. But fortunately, Zonimus's bow shot ended that problem, and so we are victorious.
That's right. And it was, you had the bow, Zonimus had the bow, and you're just slashing it up like crazy and thunderstep. And then Poppy, that was some of the biggest lightning you've ever done.
Well, it helps when the lightning already exists and I'm just pulling it and I'm not having to also create it. It is helpful.
So how long are we going to wait? Is it a long rest or is it a short
Not
rest?
a long, just a short rest.
Okay.
Just enough to get you guys some rest.
Is there a place we could clean up a little bit?
Seeing as most of these creatures are draconic in nature, they don't quite use the same hygiene.
But we do have the well.
Yeah, you can kind of clean up, in the Well of Nightmare.
Is there a cleric or some kind of high-level religious person that we can, a priest that we can speak to?
I can be your priest.
Nightmare?
Not here.
Okay.
It seems, so of the forces of Nightmare that are still living, they all seem to be much more either martially inclined or magically inclined in some way.
I was wondering if there's someone I could talk to about this ritual and what we could expect. And also to be aware that we have goods and other animals. That if we're just going to go back, or if this entire realm is going to go back, I'm just kind of wondering if the entire realm is going back, then they'll go with us. So,
And even if the ritual is something that would take us back, or if it's a separate ritual.
So at the top of the ziggurat, you see the kobold from
Just
before.
ask the grumpy kobold.
Yeah, the grumpy kobold from before. You see him as he's actually with the sacred chalks and getting all the stuff ready. Seems to be the guy in charge.
Yeah.
Nightmare's lounging and assisting with much of this preparation. You also feel Nightmare himself is starting to channel just this intense magical energy that is far more powerful than anyone could dream.
I was wondering, little friend, about what is about to happen when this thing is cast, or if we will just return to the Caliban frontier.
So you see, as you're like talking, you probably can imagine that the kobold are just hearing call Ben Frontier. And it sticks out its tongue and taps it with a clawed finger and then taps the ear hole. Repeat that again.
Ah, good. I've seen that cast before. My mother used to do that. Called tongues. That's a great spell. When we cast this ritual to ban the Mind Eater, will we also return to the Caliban frontier, or will we stay here, and is that something separate we must do?
I'm going to use a simple an explanation that I can, seeing as you appear to be of the sort that is not a regular practitioner. Mighty Nightmare's power is what has trapped the creature here. They've kind of been in a bit of a, mutually assured destruction thing. If either one gives up, then the whole thing just goes. But now that we have an opportunity to dispel the beast back whence it came, Nightmare can simply cease to concentrate on this particular realm, returning us all back to the warm sands of the Kolban.
And that is everybody in this realm returning, including our goods and horses down inside the village. That is wonderful. And are you, my friend, ready to go home?
Complicated question.
Oh, poor guy.
He looks over to Nightmare and says, "Wherever my lord is my home. Now, if you'll excuse me."
I let you get back to your work, my friend. And I turn to Zonimus. I say, if this is returning back to where it was in the Caliban frontier, there's a large ziggurat in a village about to reappear that hasn't been there for 6,000 years.
Yeah, hopefully that gets some people's attention. Maybe rally some forces to our cause.
You think the McKees are all right? I mean, it wouldn't poof that close. Right?
I think this would be farther out.
That's what I'm
west
to. Yeah,
closer to where Cimarron's palace would be.
Might be worth, once we arrive back to our own plane of existence, for Makra to take a look and see if wherever this lands, there's a gate.
There might be a gate inside.
There might be a star road inside of this temple that will reactivate.
Yes.
That would be mighty convenient.
And once we're done with the Mind Eater, we should fill them in on what's happening with the Empire.
Nightmare wouldn't want to come. He needs to be briefed on the situation so he's not surprised by anything.
Yeah, but it could wait until after.
Of course.
Yeah, we need to make sure he's safe and everybody here is safe from that Mind Eater thing. Zonimus, you disappeared for a moment in the midst of the battle, and then you came back, and I'd seen that look on a person's face before, like something affected you when you bamfed out. You did that yourself, right?
Yeah, I took a step aside to see if I could find out where the Mind Eater went.
What happened?
And I will kind of just look away for a brief moment and then look back at Makra, remembering all the times that he's let him win at poker, trying to preserve that innocence, and say, it just didn't work. I couldn't see him.
Huh. I didn't know if it was like some type of feedback thing that overwhelmed you or anything, because, like I said, you were all shook up, paralyzed.
Maybe so. I don't quite understand how this robe works yet, but I didn't see anything.
It's a pretty cool robe.
Yeah.
Greetings and salutations, my friends. I'm Michael Cross. So great to have a moment to talk with you during this mid-show break. First off, I want to invite you all to join us as Patreon members. The money we raise helps us pay for things like the music and sound effects you hear on the show, as well as money to go to events and make new fans. When you become a Patreon member, you get our episodes 4 days early, bonus content, access to our Discord server, and full versions of our roundtable discussions. You'll be joining other fans like Scott Wise, Don Mills, Heath Mormon, and the Lady Kate. So join us right now at patreon.com/reddirtdnd. Another way to support us is by getting your very own Red Dirt merchandise. You can find things like hats, hoodies, mugs, and t-shirts. Just click on the merch tab at reddirtdnd.com or reddirtrpg.com. Since 2020, the Red Dirt D&D podcast has been close to another Oklahoma actual play Dungeons & Dragons podcast, D20 to Curtain. And me personally, I've had a chance to work on stage with some of the actors on the show. So when you get done with this episode, you should check them out.
Hello, fellow D&Ders. My name is Jerome.
I'm Jennifer. I'm Jody.
And together with our friends Kara, Timothy, and Jared, we are the cast of the D20 to Curtain podcast, where Oklahoma theater geeks and their friends hit record and explore our new addiction to Dungeons & Dragons.
We think D&D is more than just a game. It helps us tap into the enduring power of storytelling.
We combine live gameplay with behind-the-curtain episodes to share our experiences, insights, habits, discoveries, and passion for D&D with anyone who will listen.
We hope D20 to Curtain will make you laugh, cry, maybe even make your experience at your table even more satisfying. Check us out anywhere you listen to podcasts or visit us at d20tocurtain.com or at D20 to Curtain on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
We look forward to having you. All we ask is that you have fun, be kind, and play the role.
If you're looking for more content, make sure to check out our YouTube page with Mysteries of Beatrix live every Wednesday. Keys from the Golden Vault from the Red Dirt Outlaws dropping every Tuesday at noon, and Plausible Deniability every other Thursday at 7 p.m. So come check it out at youtube.com/@RedDirtRPG or search for Red Dirt RPG on YouTube. And we would love to hear from you. Find us on social media at Red Dirt RPG. You can also get in touch with us through our website at reddirtrpg.com. In the meantime, make sure and subscribe to this podcast and leave a comment on your favorite podcatcher so others can find us. All right, I think that's everything I need to tell you. Right now, let's head back to Red Dirt D&D.
At the top of the ziggurat, a ritual is being prepared. Arcane symbols and circles are being drawn out on the stone ground. Nightmare meditating atop the guard tower, his powerful tail wrapped around, giving him stability. Eventually, the small black kobold, who seems to be the one heading up this effort, looks at you all and says, "Well now, it's time."
I think we're ready.
Malcolm folds up his journal after having tried to scribble as much as he can. What's going on? Puts it away.
I squeeze Zonimus's hand. Do you think Wildfire's gonna be okay? Because we've never traveled like this separately before, but he'll be okay, right?
I think we're all going to be okay now, puppy.
Okay.
Konnor,
Zonimus.
when we found each other, I was convinced that you needed me. But twice, both times when it's counted, you've been there for me.
I have.
So whatever put you here, put you in our lives, I'm glad it did. I'll hold his hand out.
Konnor reaches out and takes Zonimus's hand. I'm glad I'm here too.
And then I will now answer the question you asked. Yeah, we're good.
Good.
All right.
I reach out and for Gaz's hand. We're holding hands, Gaz.
Apparently we are. Good. I take Makrid and I hold him close. Did Cal come with us?
No, they're, well, I guess
Cal was at the battlefield.
because he was at the battle with us.
Down at the bottom of the ziggurat.
Maybe you see down at the bottom of the stairs, Cal just...
Cal, go take care of the other animals. We are going home soon.
Cal tosses his head and turns around and starts trotting off.
Gaz, do you think that they can talk to each other?
I believe so. I've always felt the animals can talk to one another, don't you?
Well, do you think that, like, is it like a horse-to-horse thing, or do you think Wildfire gets in on that?
All the animals can talk to one another. They even talk to us. We just cannot understand them. We are sometimes not smart enough like the great animals are.
I can talk to him if I want to.
I know you can. You are wise like my mother. She is very proud of you.
You haven't talked to us since she's met me, so I don't know if you can confidently say that.
I can feel it.
That's very cute. But I do think that she would be very impressed by that lightning storm. And I didn't stalk that spell today, so I can't talk to them today, but I'll find out if they can talk to each other. I'll ask Wildfire sometime.
As soon as we return, we don't know where we're going to be going. So it could be even farther away from Smithson than we had originally planned.
It's all right.
It could be next door to him.
I'll look at Makran. I'm confident we'll get there in time.
We'll be good.
It'll be good to be going home.
So, as the preparations are finished, you see Nightmare bring forth the flask. The stopper pulls it open, pours the creature out. You see just this great oil slick pile that then rises up into the form that you had took on, and it looks at the assemblage before its eyes stop on Nightmare. And as it tries to rush forth to land an attack, who knows what, on the great dragon, it hits a wall of arcane force as the ritual circle holds it in place. Nightmare grins, showing many sharp teeth. You have led us a merry dance, but now it's over. Friends, warriors, lend me your power as we banish this beast back into the far reaches from whence it came. And you start to feel a great channeling of energy. And it's almost like a song carried on the wind, the power throwing through you, especially those of you of arcane leaning, encouraging you to join it, to lend it what power you may.
I'll lend it my power.
Yes, I join young Konnor, my hand on his shoulder.
Makran, standing next to Gaz, reaches out, touches Poppy's shoulder, and again feels the earth and the weave of it all underneath and sends it forth.
I remember from my commune with nature and kind of everything that I felt within this realm and kind of the bigger things and the scary things, and I have faced a lot of fears here, and I feel Makran's hand on my shoulder and Zonimus's hand in mine, and think about all of my friends around me, and I think about home and think about the dry desert wind and the warm sun and the little field mice and the birds, and I try to envision that and lend the powers of nature to the cause.
I fight back the vision that I had of the existential dread of nothingness and everything all at once when I shifted sideways earlier this day. And I squeeze Poppy's hand and look down at her as I reach inside my jacket and brush my fingers against that star and think of how brave another person in this spot would have been. And then I look at everyone around me, and that vision from earlier just doesn't go away. I'm aware it's there, but it fades. And I will just kind of heat my body up with divinity as I start to sway into the music of the song.
As each of you gives over to this experience, gives it some of your power, everything harmonizes and it begins to reach greater heights as you see in the middle of this arcane circle, the Mind Eater just throwing itself every which way, trying to find a weak point, but completely, utterly unable to. And then there is a great flash as everything reaches its crescendo and your vision goes dark. When next you are able to see, you find yourselves in a cavern. You find yourselves looking up at a large, still form of a black dragon. The warriors surrounding you from before, a black dragonborn priestess that some of you are familiar with, shudders awake, looking at you all in confusion before shape in front of you stirs. Nightmare awakens. We are back. We have triumphed. And the whole room explodes.
So this form of nightmare that we have seen before in the temple, shrouded and kind of mummified, do they burst off? Do they fragment off?
So you do see still, some of these mummified bandages having wrapped his form are still there. You do see the flesh is still pulled very tightly over the form. So it's Nightmare. He's back, but he's weak because he has returned to his body for the first time in 6,000 years.
Yeah.
But yes, the stupor, the hibernation that was once over the Temple of Nightmare seems to break. These people seeming much more active and alive than they have in a long time. The warriors who had been trapped with Nightmare seem to be forever changed, but they are accepted back.
I'm going to go over and grab some more mead off of Cal's belt, and I go over to all the Dragonborn who are soldiers in arms. And we are going to drink, and we are going to celebrate. Do I get the sense that these are the same Dragonborn from 6,000 years ago, or are they generations upon generations upon generations? In other words, were they stuck at that age for 6,000 years, or were there new baby Dragonborn that came and replaced them?
lineage?
They're all the same.
They are the same. So
Yeah.
they've been living for 6,000 years. battling
They've been
this thing.
experiencing a timeless place.
Yeah.
Like 6,000 years, and yet no time at all had passed for them.
My friends, for 6,000 years, you have battled. You are now home. You must drink, and you must rest.
As Gaz is turning to walk to our cart to pull out the libations for this celebration, Zonimus is looking the priestess in the eye, drawing a breath, ready to stop all of this, apologize greatly, and inform and beg Nightmare of what's happening and for their assistance. And as Gaz speaks of celebration, Zonimus stops and remembers being in the Plane of Dread and what he felt the whole time there until the very end, and doesn't want to bring the Plane of Dread back with him. So he stands down and lets Gaz throw the celebration.
So we appeared in the altar room where Nightmare's body was. So I would like to wander over to the altar, and I'm not going to touch anything, but I would like to see if I can find my picture of my mom and just look at it and imagine, like I'm thinking about her and imagining her in front of me. You represent a fear of ineffectual helplessness inside me, and I have not only faced that fear, but I feel like I have exceeded. I've gone past that fear. I have abolished that fear. And I am not only a great person, but I am a powerful druid. And I have friends, and I have love, and I'm not afraid of you or what you represent anymore. And I will walk back over to the party and give Zonimus a pat on the arm and say, "It can wait for tomorrow," and then head over to Wildfire and Gas.
And Konnor, you might talk to the priestess and see if the return of the Great Nightmare might have reactivated the Star Roads.
Yeah, I'll go ask her about that.
Take Mockern with you.
Yeah, Mockern, let's go talk to her.
You bet.
You know more about Star Roads than I do. So I'll go over to the priestess. Hello, ma'am. So, in our travels, we've discovered the Star Roads.
Yes.
And obviously, since Nightmare has been in stasis, I believe that's what they called it, is there a way that we can turn back on the Star Roads here, now that Nightmare's back?
It would do well for us to be reconnected with the others. I'm sure his lordship will see no issue with reactivating the crystals.
Okay, good. And I'll relay that information to Mockrin.
let her know, the lady at Thundercrack's temple, that it's active there and they still have a full map of everything.
So, obviously, it's been 6,000 years since Nightmare's been back. I don't know if you're caught up, but there's been a lot of changes, but at least one of the Thundercrack temples is still up with the star map.
Good. It will take us some time. We will have to do some arcane repairs, but we should be able to reconnect the temple now that his lordship has returned.
Okay, good. And I'll relay that to Martin.
Out of character. I think this is where we were going to Star Road 2 to get to Smithson, right?
No.
No, that was the pillars. We are now on the opposite side of the last
We
last
still
stop.
need to go to...
We were where we needed
But
to be.
it did say that they'd take a bit to get the Star Road going.
Yeah.
So
we might just have to do it the old-fashioned way.
To get back to the pillars is like 4 or 5 days. Like to walk there, it'd
we
probably
don't
take
need to
a
go to
better
the
part of a
pillars.
week.
We need to go to Smithson.
Right.
And which I think would, like I said, would take a better part of a week. So if
I
it only
think-
takes them like 2 days to repair this.
Yeah, so we just need to figure out whether it's going to take us longer to get there or to wait.
Map maker man.
I can always just, I need to rest, but I can always just teleportation circle us right there to the pillars and then we're a half day away again.
There you go. There you go.
We'll be right back in the pillars again. That'd be the
So
only thing.
let's enjoy some celebration for once.
Yes.
Yes, smoothskins need to loosen up.
Yes. And I'm celebrating to be out of the domain of dread and back in the Calben frontier.
You are brought into this tribe of Black Dragonborn for this great celebration. Members who they thought long dead and would never return. Nightmare himself, who they thought would never return. They're back. And for a brief moment, that's all they care about.
Red Dirt D&D, Tales from the Caliban Frontier is Ash King as our Dungeon Master, Brooke Bullock as Mokran Stone Shaper, Johnny Payne as Zonimus Dinar, Kiri Hester as Poppy Tealeaf, Konnor Shenold as Konnor the Kobold, and I'm Michael Cross as Gaz. Special thanks to our Silver Star Paladin patron, Shenanigans Unplugged. Our theme music was created by the Cinemagician PJ Castillo. Our incidental music comes from Jeffrey McBride. Our sound effects and additional music, courtesy of TabletopAudio.com, Sirenscape, and Monument Studios. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and at RedDirtDND.com. We here at Red Dirt D&D could really use your help in getting the word about us. If you like what you've heard, make sure and subscribe, rate us, and leave a comment. Also, tell your friends about Red Dirt D&D. You can also support the show at patreon.com/RedDirtDND. We have several giving levels to help us grow up big and strong. Join us next time as we go deeper into the Caliban Frontier.
Slay the dwarf.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mind Eater, sir.
Yes, sir, Anastasia, sir. Just wishing I could take her out for you. And give her a ha and a hi-ya and a kicker, sir. We just gave the Kobold espresso.
Yes.
It's vibrating now.
I've got it.
I love you.
This. I'm sorry. I'm fine. Poppy's fine.
You know what, Konnor? I think they stole your moment.
Sounds like them.
Everything's coming up daisies.
Okay. So
Konnor, I love you.
Everybody kiss the Kobold.
Dial it back. Big.
I, Johnny, have already kissed Konnor today.
Yeah.
So we all just poof in like the magic school bus?
Yes.
Okay, then we can
Bam, bam, bam.
redo that. I suddenly feel like this feedback of power
Because of friendship and
friendship, but the power
The power of friendship.
The power of love.
we're defeating the
power of love.
Defeating the power of dread with the power of love. If kobolds could flush, Konnor would be red.
Is there a place we could clean up a little bit? Like, other than being doused in the well.
Do you have a ladies' room?
I imagine suddenly in my head canon that Konnor probably prestidigitates on a stinky smooth skins more often than we notice. Like he's every now and then just like a little sparkle clean goes over. She's like, oh, finally.
There's a large ziggurat in a village about to reappear that hasn't been there for 6,000 years.
Hopefully it's not on top of anybody.
It'll be fine.
Hopefully the dwarves have not stretched out that far.
It'll be fine.
Well, do you think that, is it like a horse-to-horse thing, or do you think Wildfire gets in on that?
Oh, yes, I think all the animals. It's a Disney cartoon going inside that house.
Who is this?
They just
Disney?
open in front of us.
Yeah.
Pete pops in from the break room. He has coffee for
Gotta
everybody.
wait for gotta wait for the Gaz logic of, well, we can talk to each other, can't we? Surely they can talk to each other.
Not talk to each other.
You're also talking to a barbarian who was raised by a druid.
Yeah.
Dragonborn look over at us, and they're all holding hands, having some kind of kumbaya moment. I'm very...
Smooth skin thing.
Plane of dread, not the plane of
Why is that kobold holding?
happiness.
Not a plane of puppy dogs and sunshine.
Kobold's been hanging around with it
With
too
the
long.
power of love, we saved them all.
Power of friendship and motivational speeches.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's an episode of The Flash.
You hear retching over in the background.
From the grumpy kobold, he's like, I liked it better when it was the dread.
6,000 years will give you such a prick in the neck.
We're nerds.
We're geeks. There's a difference. Geeks have social skills.
6,000 years, and yet no time at all had passed for them.
Right.
Just because
Like
the
when they
mind
came
cannot.
back from the snap.
Yeah.
My
5
friends.
years gone.
And back in the Calben frontier. Yub nub.
It's,
No.